Peace, y'all. Hey, welcome. It's good to see all of you all in here. Thank you to those of you all who had just discovered me, and thank you to my girl with the butterflies for having the rest of you all come in here. It's wonderful. I know that we're going to have quite a few people in here, and I'm going to give them a few minutes. It's good to see you all. I'm going to give them about 2 minutes, and then I will go ahead and start because it's important that we get this in as easy and smoothly as possible. Now, what's so interesting, and peace, everyone, I'm looking at the comments on the side as well. What's so interesting is I hope you have your pen and paper. I saw some people said that they do. I'm glad. Okay. We're going to get the introduction out of the way because many of you all know it already. And let's go ahead and get into it. So, I'm Iyanafa Chandra Charisse. You may hear some people call me Iya now. It still means the same thing. I am a practitioner of the Yoruba Isese tradition known as Ifa. I'm going to start off with some definitions first so that you understand what it is that I'm speaking about when I start to get into flow and talking about a divination and an ebba. When you have questions, I ask that you can write them in the chat. My moderator will take them, but I won't answer any of the questions until the end. And if you stay to the end, I have a special little code that I'm going to give for you all that will be valid until the close of business on Cyber Monday. And that code is important because yesterday's prices are not today's prices. Okay, so be aware of that. Now, for those of you all that are here, how many of you all are aware of what a divination is or have heard of it? And if you are, could you please put the number 8 in the chat for me? And 8 is my number, infinity and beyond. Okay, I love me some 8. So if you're aware, put the number 8 in the chat, and then that'll let me know how many of you all are familiar. Okay, thank you. Cool. All right. So let's start with all the definitions. Peace, Baba Samuel. I see you. Okay. Let's start at the very beginning. Contrary to popular belief, Ifa, we believe in one Olodumare, one God, one creator that can create and destroy. So that's the first thing. You will hear me use the term Olodumare. The next thing that you need to understand is Ifa literally means the word of Olodumare. You may hear us use it interchangeably as we are referring to Orumula Ifa, but just know that that's what it is. Excuse me, one moment. Oh, okay. Just know that that's what it is, and that's what's going on, okay? If I say Ifa says this, or if Ifa tells you to do that, I'm using it interchangeably with the word of Olodumare, and let me type that, or one of my moderators can type it as well, okay? Olodumare in the chat, and Ifa is how you properly say it, okay? So that you understand. The other term Ifa is used for is the keeper of the tools of communication with Olodumare, okay? And that keeper is called Orumula. So sometimes you will hear referred to as Orumula Ifa, and this is why. And I need you to know that because that's very important when I'm talking and I'm explaining things. Other words you will hear is Ebo. Ebo, okay, is the prescription for which your situation needs. And I'm going to explain it that way because it does not always mean that it is negative. So let me get that. So make sure you have these terms so that you understand this. The other term that you heard me use in another live was Arumule. Arumule are higher spiritual beings. So this is me generalizing it as much as I can for people who may not understand what I'm speaking about. What you all are familiar with are Orisha. You hear that term more often than not. Okay. You're like, oh, the Orisha said, or I'm speaking to my Orisha, et cetera, et cetera. And the other term that you all are very familiar with that you'll hear me speak about is ancestors. And this is all important in what I'm getting ready to talk to you about. But ancestors, we call it gungun. So I'm typing it so that you can have it, okay? All right, so we got that. We got all that now. Okay. So now, do you have it? All right, peace. Okay. So now I'm going to talk to you about why it's such a big deal for me for you to understand these terms and the difference when you get a divination versus when you're receiving a reading. Because we come from the Western world, we think that a divination is a reading. And I've heard some people say, oh, I got an Ifa reading. And I'm like, no, that's not what it is. And I can understand that some people will say that in order to make it a common term that you are aware of or that you understand. I get that. But that is not what a divination is at all. What you need to know is that a divination gives you several aspects of what is going on in your life, either in the present, the past, or to come. Now, let me be clear. The to come is definite when Ifa says it. It's not, it's going to maybe come, right? When you get a reading, it's, it depends on what you do. This outcome can happen this way. But when Ifa says it, i.e., the word of Olodumare, it is what it is. That's how it goes. So it will speak to the past, the present, and what's to come. And sometimes the past will be told to you in ways of things or situations that have happened in your life that are imbalanced. Because remember, you seeking guidance from Ifa is to provide balance in your life so that you may move on to the next, let's say, level up or to the next thing going on. Does this mean that once you receive one divination that you don't have to get another? No, it does not. What it means is Ifa uses divination in order to put you on the right path for your destiny and to keep you on track, because we can often get off track. And when we get off track, that's when issues start to occur, or when we don't take the signs that are coming to us to move on or to do something different, and we stay stagnant, we keep wondering what that is. There could be something that's going on another level. Okay. Divination also speaks to the energies between Orun, I'll type that for you, which is heaven, and earth. Okay. We do believe in a heaven, so let me get that clear, but we do not believe in a hell. And there are reasons for that. We also do not believe in a devil. We do believe in negative energies and or influences, okay? And this is important to understand. Um, Using the term heaven makes it easier for you to understand, but your generalization of the Yoruba language would be like a higher place, a higher area, a higher anything. So having a room makes you understand what's going on. Hey, let me pause for a second. You know, I have a lot of stuff I'm going to say. I'm going to pause for a second because I didn't tell you all that this was happening. But, and I wasn't sure that it was going to happen. However, comma.
My apology.
Yeah, uh-huh.
Yalva,
Yes. Mm-hmm. Let's go.
my apology.
Because you know I'm live already. For all of you all here, this would be my Oluwo Fabemi, and it's midnight where he is. But I wanted him to come on, and he said, "My apologies. You're wide awake. I'm so surprised. you know I got so much. you know I got so much trash to talk. I'll talk it later. so this would be a little
My apology. I'm
no.
really, really sorry.
So,
Hmm?
that said, Oluwo.
Uh,
I wasn't going to tell you all that he was coming because I wasn't sure that he would be able to make it, but he did. So that said, Oluwu, do you mind introducing yourself, please?
um, good evening to everyone here on my hand here. So I greet everyone with the name of Milaba by the Ifa's name. I greet everyone.
They're all saying
in
hello
this
and peace to
room.
you.
Uh, may the love and protection of human be upon everyone, and may Ifa continue to guide our way.
That's it.
So, in every in all our undertaking, Ifa continue to receive the bless of Ifa and Irumale.
That's
I
it.
greet everyone, and I'm very happy to be in this place. Also, I'm very happy to be the part of this family. I greet everyone in the name of Wamilaba and Abora Aboye.
Hey, boy, boy, should say Alto. All right. So everyone is saying essay and greetings, and they receive. And this, oh, how do you spell his name? This would be Nab. Remember, I told you about Nab, who's always harassing me.
Mm. I
Okay.
go by my I go by this name. I'm Oluwo Ifadari Ifagbemi.
Okay. So I spelled it for him. So now my other question, because I know I need to let you go because it's late, even though you look wide awake right now. my my other question to you would be this for people here, because I'm teaching them the basis and understanding of a divination, and you came in when I was giving them the definitions. This is why they knew when you said arumule, they knew what that was and or who those energies were, because I was literally doing that before you came in. So, can you speak to this before you go? The
Mm,
importance of a divination when it comes to
okay.
staying on your path.
Okay. The importance of definition, if at all people here, so if they are unable to be part of us in the first class,
Right.
I will still bring that up by the first week. So I will still speak on that literally the way it is.
Okay.
When we are talking of definition and when we are talking of ebo, let me quickly go to definition first. The importance of definition is actually um based on the soul, an individual.
Yes.
So uh, it always help an individual not to fall off the track, and also help an individual to rediscover their path, and also to help them maintain the the flow and the greatness of their path.
Yes.
So if an individual are able to be making a divination in whichever, irrespective of any condition, any certain situation they have. So if an individual are able to make a divination, I with the power that attached to that attached to it, that attached to activity that we are talking about, such individual will be able to live with peace of mind, and also the do and don't of life. such person will know everything. So for the person to ensure and to enjoy the smoothness of life, so and the peace of mind, that's the purpose of divination.
Thank you. Now
So
I'm
if
gonna.
the person can abide
Yes, that's
and
important.
adhere with the audio and all the information attached uh, to such to such activity or to such certain action when it comes to divination. So I think such person will be able to live long and also stay away from any negative energy that may hinder the progress of the person. Above.
Yeah, what's your shout about them? So, oh, you're being greeted in the chat. So, that being said, based on you saying if they're able to follow the basically the directions that are given and adhere to what the divination says, they should have a smoother life, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, my other question, because everybody always asks me, they want to know how old you are, and I never ever tell them. So, what's important is, could you tell them how many generations of a Babalawo, study of Babalawo in your life are you? Just so they know.
You mean my life?
Yes, your lineage.
Ah,
Because when they hear the number, it's
that's
like, what generations? Because, they're always trying to
that is
guess.
a great that's a great question, and I'm very happy to be part of this family. As I said,
Yes.
when we are talking of generation in my own life, when it comes to this Ifa and Irumole, I think if we are counting first, second, third, I think maybe I've been 16th generation.
Which would technically be like 500 plus years, no?
You said?
It would technically be like 500 plus years. Yes. Yeah. So I'm telling y'all that for a reason because people are always questioning me about that when they see him. Um,
Mm,
so, and
we
he's
didn't do
very,
anything. In our family, we are born into that,
yes,
and our great father
yes. And then I'm always
that
talking to them about you having Oluwos as well currently. And I gave the age of
yeah.
one of them, but what is the eldest Oluwu you have had? And or Iya?
The eldest Oluwo, you mean the age of the eldest Oluwo, right?
Yes.
Probably the eldest Oluwo would be is the man that I always song whenever we are teaching him or
Yes.
so it's our eldest Oluwo presently. And I think the eldest Oluwo will be at the age of early early 80s
Okay. Early. The one that I see all the time.
all the time.
And what about the one that has
Actually,
passed that's not living? Your eldest that's not living.
the one that was passed,
Hmm.
including my father, because
Yes, of
my
course.
father is elder to the present Oluwo now. So the one that have already passed, when we are talking of them, maybe maybe 86 actually for my father. My
Yes.
father is 86. The his ed, It's either will be actually close to night.
Okay. And then you had an ER that passed a couple last month that was 100 and something. Was it last month?
That
The ER that passed that was 100 and something. Was that
yes.
last month?
And we had other even that the other one that we had
Yes.
actually the headache. That's how I can call him.
Okay.
so so it's 105
Okay.
precisely.
Wait, okay. All right. All right.
So the Oluwo was 105 years.
105. All right, let me think. I don't think there's anything else unless you want to sit around while I teach and I put you down back in the back until you have to go.
Mm, if I'm unable to see everyone here, I'm just sending my regards to everyone and also pray for them.
That's it.
So by the name of Melaba, my country,
Oh, wait, I
that
got another question. Sorry. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Alafia,
uh,
because I asked you about this all the time. The greeting Alafia, I explained that it is not a Yoruba greeting. Is there another greeting that people who are Awos or followers in general of the tradition can use to greet someone like myself or you?
remain the greeting after.
Yes, when they're saying hello. So since we know Alafia just means peace, but it's Arabic, is there a Yoruba word or something they can say outside of that?
We have our own thing, and our own greeting is more alone. Our own greeting do usually come like aboro aboye.
Yes, but that's for me and
This
you. I'm talking about everybody else.
yes,
Mm,
everyone else in the every community.
mm,
If I do actually meet someone, or let's assume the person is not actually belong to this every community.
mm.
Mm. So in our own is every community, we do greet ourselves. Aboro aboye, aboye boy at all.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning peace be upon you, and by respond to that greet, so you are you are returning the word to me back to
Mm.
me that this upon you as well.
Let me tell them what the wuri is. Prayer.
Mm. So, but when it comes to our own Yoruba term here, we have several way of greeting people.
Mm.
Mhm. So when you say Ekaro, good morning,
Yes.
Ekason, good afternoon, Eku Asale, good evening, and Eku Ọjọ́ Mẹ́ta, Eku Dédé Wòyí o. So those are the way we do usually treat ourselves. And Olodumare has already decorated Yoruba in a very strong way and a better way. Same as other language in the sense that whenever you belong to certain association of work, so let's
Yes.
assume maybe you are the hairdresser or whatever they call it. So they have gifts for hairdressing people by say when they are working, they will say Ojugboro, Ojugboro. So that means in what they are doing, so may you never lose your sight to do the better
Okay.
version of what you are doing. That's how they do usually for and with everything. And if it's stylish, let's assume they met a stylist working. I mean the tailor.
Yes.
So they they have their own gifts as well. Same way the bricklayer, same way. So all of that they have their different way they approach them and with them. So when it comes to Isese community, they are irrespective of any energy that we belong to, we do greet ourselves aboro aboro,
Okay. Thank you.
irrespective of energy. You belong to this, you belong to that, you belong. So the general term of everything. So if we are belong to Osun, Oriyeye, Megiti,
He's saying if you
Afika,
belong to other Orisha, um,
other Orisa,
yes,
Osun, mentioning Osun now. So
yes.
if it is Osun, you give them Oriyeye and they come the prayer back to us that the angel, so Yeye has been answering your thoughts and your prayer.
Thank you.
Also, when it's Egbe, we say Atika, Afede, as we all belong to the major oral group that we all belong to,
Yes.
using our soulmate, our effing
Heavenly
soulmate,
mates.
so heavenly mate, we do usually give them Afede, and Atika Afede. So that's the there are several different in the community and Ifa society.
Thank you. I'm looking in the
Like,
chat. All right. We have 91 people in here right now. And now
my, my
I'm,
regard to everyone.
I'm going to let you stay in the back or go to sleep, whichever one you need to do. While I continue to teach. And thank you for getting up for me and coming on here at this time.
Okay.
I'll put you back in the back now and I'll talk to you later. I'll message you and maybe you'll see it and you'll know
Uh,
how it went.
uh,
Thank
uh,
you.
my prayer.
All right, guys. Let's get it. All right. So I will make sure that he knows that you said thank you. He can hear me still, even though he's not on the screen. They're so elated. Everyone is like, I say, I say, I say, and they're happy. Okay, now that being said, let's get back into it. I hope you all enjoyed that surprise because I tell you, there was a miracle that had to be worked for that. Real talk. All right. That said, I'm looking in two different places so I can make sure that I see. Thank you for sharing your Oluwo. That is so nice. I'm reading it out loud so he can hear it. So thank you for sharing your Oluwo with us. Much appreciated. Now, and Rhonda gave the prayer hands, and you're very familiar with Rhonda. All right, guys, we're gonna jump back into this thing. So I was giving you the definitions, and he just explained. And for some of you all who may not have understood him very well, you'll be able to watch it back. And he was explaining why a divination is important to balance what is going on in your life. Okay. Now, come through for the part that, since he explained that, and again, this is why we do it, the tools that are used that you will see will be an opele, right? Which is the chain. You'll see that sometimes when you're watching and you get a divination from us, you may see some students there and you will see them using that at some point. And the other thing would be the Ikin of Ifa, right? Or let me type that in so that you know what it is. Okay. You'll see that, or you'll see people, you'll see it in their hands. I know that you can go to Etsy and everywhere else, and they're saying they're doing a divination with um, shells and things of that nature, but that is not a divination tool for Ifa. So I'm going to explain it that way. Can it be used in certain times with certain Irumules or Orishas? Yes, but that is particular to them for a specific reason. It's not something that's done to do like your life path. So let me give you that heads up. Now, why is it different? It's because you get the solution to your problem, and that is what we need to understand. Whenever I see people saying that you're going to have a tarot divination, or they're going to do a psychic divination, is just not possible. And if it was, I would tell you that it is. But the reason for that is the solution requires materials to balance the energies. And that's what I'm going to call the prescription. And that prescription is the EBO, the word that you hear me say, the EBO. Every time you hear me say it, that's what's going on. So you have a divination done and you're given an Odu for your period of life right now. Now, an Odu is like a scripture. This is the easiest way for me to explain it to you all. It's a scripture that you have that is given to your life and your circumstances as it stands right now based on the life path that you've had. The Eba is the prescription for that said Odu, that said prescription that you're given. So when you're given that and these things are carried out, it takes quite a while. It takes quite a while to actually do the divination itself, but the prescription itself takes a minimum so far that we've had is about 2 hours, and it could take longer. And that's just for the part that we share for you to see, because we do allow you to participate and see virtually what's going on. Now, the parts that happen outside of that at night or in different days, that's totally different. You won't get to see that part. Number one, it's night. Number two, we're being respectful to the elders of the night. You'll hear me say that. And elders of the night, also known as the Iyamis. Okay. They will always be appeased in some aspect, period, to keep that balance of all the things that you asked about. Your prayers are then confirmed. I always tell the people to be as specific as they need to be for their situation, and sometimes to do a generalization so it covers the things you know and don't know. Because sometimes we pray for things for ourselves that we think is for the betterment of ourselves, but we should actually leave it up to Olodumare, i.e., say for Ifa, the word of Olodumare, in order to handle the things that we aren't sure for. Because I have been known myself to pray against something because I was like, I don't know about this thing, right? So I was praying against it. But let me tell you something. Olodumare knows better. And so that changed in a different way. And I think I may have been known later that that's what I was doing. But when we pray for things that we know and don't know, or that we're not sure of, then we can't. That's just what it is. It's just one of those things that just pops up for us. And then we're understanding what's going on. Because it's like, hey, how did this happen? Why is this happening? Why is it happening this way? But we get caught up in what it is that we think we need. So pray for things that you don't think that you need. Like, generalize what it is. Now, let's move on to the next part and why that's important. The directives. They're sometimes the hardest things to follow. There will be things that'll seem real asinine to you. It may be don't wear a certain color, don't eat a certain food, et cetera, et cetera. But the truth of the matter is, we don't know what that will do or how that will help you in the future as humans, right? But Ifa knows very, very well. Yes, I'm working on this right now. Yeah, Ifa knows very, very well. So if you're told to refrain from certain foods, that refraining from certain foods could possibly save your life in the future. You don't know what could happen. You have no idea. And then if you're told to refrain from being around a certain person or to look out for certain things, you just have no idea what's going on, why is it that way? And in your mind, you're like, no, I'm fine, all is good. So one of the hardest things to do is to follow a directive. It's very, very hard. And the reason I say that is because we get in our own way. And it may seem asinine and like it doesn't make sense at the time, but later it will make sense. And all of a sudden you'll say, well, that was something simple. That didn't make sense. Why is it telling me not to eat this thing? And then later you find out why. So, following the directive, also following the directive when it comes to relationships and things that you need to do, that's very difficult. I'm not going to say that it's easy. Okay. There's sometimes it'll come up where maybe you need to let a relationship go that you're in. And you're like, wait, but this is the person I've been with. And you're like, Deva's like, good, but you need to make room for something else because there's something seen for you that you don't believe exists yet. You're not seeing the end path of it yet because you're in the thick of it right now. That's something that you need to resonate with, pray on, and come to peace with. Because when Ifa gives you something to do, and you do it, the results of your obedience to what Ifa says will be so evident and will happen so quickly for you. The other thing that you need to understand, it says, please hold our, yeah, please hold our questions to the end. I'll answer them. Thank you. The other thing that you need to understand is even after this is done, you may get off your path again later. You may need a little bit of help later. That's not something, because I think people get caught up in thinking it's a scam if they have to come back. We're not saying you need to come back right away, but if you want to keep balance in your life, you should come back. I usually tell people who come to me to do it once a year. The same time, they would go to church once a year for Christmas and or Easter. You should do the same thing. Now, when I say that, also know that if you do come back sooner, things that will be handled for what is to come will be handled. Now, this is not to say that everything that comes out for you will be to negative. Ifa is also going to have the EBO, the prescription, speak to what needs to happen to help the goodness that's coming into your life come a little smoother. And so the transition will be a little easier, doors will open a little more, your intuition and your ability to judge things better on what it is you need to do will happen. And it typically happens right after you have the abo done because of the energies and everything surrounding it. Now, I know that people are like animals, because I know they're going to ask me animals and everything else, herbs, etc., etc. Do we use animals in sacrifice? Yes, period. So, yes, we do. Now, why is that a necessity? It speaks to what the Odu says needs to be done, and that's why the necessity exists. I understand that some people are very sensitive to that, and I get it. And if you ask me about it in the time period in which you're supposed to have it done, I will speak with Oluwo and we'll consult to see if there can be an alternative. But outside of that, the most powerful way to handle what is going on is with the animals that are used and utilized. Now, why is that important? Because we believe that that energy and that sacrifice for those animals that are prayed over, because it's no different than when you go to the store and buy kosher food, right? Halal food that's prayed over. There's specific prayers that are prayed over them. And those prayers are the prayers that not only say that this animal was chosen for this to help you in your situation, but also to help rectify whatever is going on in your situation. So I know that people are sensitive to that and I get it. But the outcome outweighs the sacrifice. And case in point, people go to the grocery store every day and buy animals that don't have not a bit of blessing with them and will eat them and be fine, but then have a problem when it's done in a different way. Okay. The other part, let me see who. Okay. The other part that I need to talk about, and I'm watching this in case I need to text Oluwo. I know he can hear me, but in case I need to text him something that I need to say. The other part of this that is very, very important is being able to then live and sit with what it is that is happening after you receive your Ebo. Sometimes the transition isn't always easy, but the reflection of everything that was done, you will be fine. It will be all good. And it doesn't always seem that way when it's happening to you and as you're going through it. And I understand that. I understand that very well. As someone who has been on the receiving end, and I will continue to be on the receiving end, I couldn't understand when Oluwo would say to me all the time, it'll be fine. And I'm like, what you mean? It's almost like he just, oh, don't worry about it, right? And you're like, it doesn't seem like it's going to be fine, but I have yet to have a situation in which he told me it would be fine, and we had an Ebo done that it wasn't fine. So I need you to understand that although it may all seem dire, that is not the case. Not on this end, not, and also not when you have it done properly. And that's something that needs to be said because there are many people who don't do things properly. One moment, please. Okay. All right. So let me see. Yeah, thank you very much, Dex. All right. Now that I have all of that done so that you understand what it is and why I don't like people saying that they're doing a tarot divination or that they're doing XYZ because you cannot give a solution. Are we against you using tarot cards, crystals, etc., etc.? Not at all, but that has nothing to do with Ifa. And if you're dealing with anyone who says that they practice Ifa and they specifically tell you that they're doing a divination with these tools, or because I've seen many of people that say they're priestesses and then they'll tell you this is how they're getting the information for you. That is not the case. So I hate to burst their bubble. Now, are there many people who practice the tradition that do crystals and tarot, etc.? Absolutely. I have a pack of cards upstairs, but I'm not going to come to you, use cards, and tell you that that's a divination, and I don't have anything to prescribe for it, nor would I do that in the semblance of where I am within the practice. It's not practical, it doesn't make sense, and it's not cool that that happens. And I don't care for people doing that because then it confuses you, right? And you're trying to seek someone to help you for real. And then you don't know what to do because you saw this priestess said that they do this and this one does this. And it's just a mess. So then when I come to you and I'm telling you the truth of what it is, then you're confused. But just know that that's not a thing. Is it something that can be done and used? Absolutely, but not within the constraints of Ifa and what we practice. Now, that said, I have another guest that I'm going to bring on here, and several of them here. So, Vivian, if you could hop on the link, please, I'd appreciate it. And I'm going to bring up one of the guests because it was said, and the reason I did this was because it was said that people were confused if you are new and looking to get a divination, what that process looks like for you. And also for people who need to just understand what it is that happened afterwards and during the process for them. So that said, Miss Martha, y'all may know her as Travel Mom when she comes up on my lives on TikTok.
Hello.
Peace. How are you?
I'm good. How are you? How are
I'm
you? Because I can
divine
see
as
you.
always. You knew I was gonna say it. You knew I was gonna say it. All right, let's get it. All right, Martha. Now, just so y'all know, I put out a call, like a god, to, to all the people who it was their first time getting a divination from me, and who it was their first time engaging in Ifa in this way, to ask them to come on and talk about their experience, because I think it's important based off of the client that spoke to me and said, there's nothing like this on the internet, so I don't know what's going on. So she doesn't know any of the questions, nor do any of the rest of them when I call them on here, because I don't work that way. I want it to be authentic. But I would like to say, can you introduce yourself? And if you have a business, say what that business is. And then can you say how you found me? And then let's get into what made you decide to get a divination, and we'll go from there. Please.
Well, my name is Martha. I am a mom. On TikTok, I am Travel Mom 04. On Instagram, I am Spiritual Goddess, Spiritual Love Goddess. I was in the travel industry, and now I am starting a business that will help children who have traumatic past, that have been raped, molested, or abused. I will be up and running starting December.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I found Chandra. Oh, Iana Chandra.
Let's go.
I told her I was gonna start using her title.
Yes, you did.
I found her on TikTok. I believe it was TikTok when I first came through. I had recently just lost my mom. I was going through a lot of things, and I had a lot of questions that I couldn't seem to find the answers to. I went to one of her lives, and it seemed like we just had a connection. I kind of told her she was stuck with me for the rest of it, and I've been sticking with her ever since. But she told a story about her children and how she got the answers that she needed right then and there. I was going through a lot after the loss of my mom, and realizing that, a big part of me had left. So I set up my consultation with her. We clicked immediately during consultation. And from that moment on, I went through my consult, and then I did my divination and my evos, and they gave me what I needed to do. And I've been doing it, and that's how I met her. And now she's stuck with me, and I keep telling her that because she is stuck with me. So yeah, it was at first I was kind of skeptical, coming from a Christian background. But after talking to her and going through everything that I was going through and listening to her stories and what she had endured, it was it was easy for me to just go ahead and follow through with it, because it was something that she got that I wasn't getting, and that was an answer to the questions that I had, and I got the answers that I was looking for, and I got the prescriptions, and that's what I'm working on now, taking my prescriptions daily.
Yes, I'm telling you, right? So, when she said she came to me for a consultation, she actually came for a business consultation, and
Hmm.
then booked a divination after that. So I'm happy to hear all the things that you're starting, and we talked about in general. We
Yes.
generalized a lot and then worked on it. Now, see, notice I didn't use tools with her for that. So when I say you can come and talk to me about these certain things, but after Ifa says something, I'm not going to revisit what Ifa said. That's it. Once you go to Ifa and you talk about that, like if you come to me and you want me to do an intuitive this, that, whatever, I got you. But once Ifa speaks on it, I'm not speaking on it. Um, yeah, you've been with me for a long time now, huh? It's been some
Yeah, we've
months.
been rocking. We're almost at a year together. You're stuck
Really?
with our little mini manager and everything. Yes, ma'am.
It seems
Yes,
like
we're
just
almost at a year.
yesterday. I'm like a year. What I want you to speak about, because when I try to tell them that the divination isn't really like a reading, the way that everything is broken down for you, how does it differ to you than a reading in how it's told to you about what your issues are and or the goodness that's coming to you?
I've had readings done before, and my divination was nowhere close to a reading that I got. A reading was kind of like surface information. They was just able to touch on the surface to give me, the basics that I needed. But when I got my divination done, the divination provided me with answers that I needed from a deeper perspective. I was able to get the information that I needed whether it was, with my current situation and with the situations that I have coming up in the future. Um, Me doing my business and everything, when I got mine, let's say I got the reading, everybody was telling me I was going to be successful at certain things, but they didn't know exactly what those things was. When I got my divination and I got everything back, I was told this is what is going to happen in your life. It was definite answers. I know. One of the things that you told me that had me kind of like, I don't know about this, is when you told me about all the extra children. And you were like, I didn't want to tell you that at first. And I'm one of those people who truly believe that I don't want to cut off anything without having the answers to it. So I just kept going. Another one of the things was the marriage life. People kept telling me, about specific things that were happening at that very second. But my divination told me about my long-term goals, about the long-term success of what I was going into, how I could get there. And it kind of gave me like a step-by-step to get to where I needed to be at. So where I had questions, I could get up and freely understand that, look, it had already been said, it had already been spoken. I just need to go through the everyday channels to get to where I need to be at. So it made it a lot easier for me to digest that the things that I was going through was not the ending goal, and that the long term goals that I was looking forward to were going to happen, and that made it a lot easier for me to just progress through life without the stress, the worry of how to when, where, those type things. So it made it a lot easier. Like I'm the over analytical one. So when you was telling me stuff,
Yes.
I'll be like, Chandra, look, you said kids, so what's going on here? This is happening. So that made it a lot easier for me to get through my days without me having to stress and worry about, every little thing that was happening at that second.
Now, I'm glad you said that and you said the way it is, but my other question then would be, I believe when you first met me, one of the first things, because people are always asking me, is how do I get started, et cetera, et cetera. And then I always tell them to have their ancestor area, right?
Um,
Because we do a table, although that's not done in Nigeria. It's totally different, the Egungun area, which you've seen very well, right? So it's totally different. However, we adapt for the West. So when I speak about your ancestors, do you feel that having your ancestor shrine or area has helped perpetuate what you have now and what's going on now?
to be honest, before you told me that, I wouldn't have, a table wasn't even a reference table wasn't even the first thing that came to my mind. As I stated, I had just lost my mom, so I had a lot of questions that I needed answers to, as far as my mom's death and everything. And during our first conversation, you told me about my great grandfather. He came up in my consult with you, and that made me want to know a lot more. Then when you told me about making my table and everything, and then I went through your YouTube channel because I guess y'all I stalked her on every social media platform that she had. I got my table, I put it up. It made it so much easier for me to be able to have that one-on-one conversations with them set up. And it made it easier for my kids to understand what it was that I was doing to make sure that we had a better life and a better outcome of everything that we were going through. It made it easier for them to digest the death of my mom, the loss of my mom, the loss of
Yes.
some of our other family members, and it made it easier for them to transition from life to the afterlife. When we would lose a family member or whatever, or not, they understood that it wasn't that we lost them, we just lost them in the physical space, not in the spiritual, and that they still had the opportunity to be able to talk to them and just rely upon them
Come,
and everything
come
like that.
through,
So
Apple.
that made it a lot easier for us to digest the loss of my mom, and it made it a lot more open for my kids to be able to come and talk to me, to be able to have that true communication about what we were experiencing with all the losses that came after her. So that was a blessing to us because listen, my kids will still run to my table, y'all. They'll even go in there and ask them for their candy and everything off their altar. But it's great to see them bonding and to understand that just because we lost them in the physical space did not mean we lost them in the spiritual. And they still have the ability and the insight to have conversations with them when they're feeling some type of way.
You don't know
And
how
we
happy I
see,
am.
oh, well, thank you. We got here for you. It's easier, y'all, because I have 4 boys and I have my grandbaby, and she even goes in there. She was just here over Friday, and she goes in there. She just has conversations with them. So it makes it a lot easier for her to understand it. There's just because they're not here physically for you, they're still here spiritually, and they're still wrapped around you and guiding you on this journey. So
Yes.
it's been a blessing having mine. It
I'm
started off a little slow, but we getting there. We grow.
no worries.
I
That
think the
has me
candle
elated.
still
And when
burning.
she speaks about when her grandfather, so I told you I do this intuitive stuff, and he came through strong with his little outfit. That's
Yes,
how
he
I was able to
did.
tell her what was going on. I was like,
And it
hey,
was shocking because the very outfit that she described, I kept telling her like I had never seen that side of him. And then one of my aunts gave me pictures right after I spoke with her, and he had on the same exact outfit. And I was like, sure, that was my great grandfather. And she, yeah, so yeah, it worked, y'all. It's very helpful, insightful, and it was very powerful because it was another way for me to learn without having to forget anything else that I had. I just learned something different. Took it in.
thank you
We've
for
been
that.
rocking with it.
I'm so
You're very
glad.
welcome. Thank you.
My other question and my last one for you, based that you came from a Christian background, do you feel that there's any conflict between the beliefs that you were taught and now the tradition in which you're learning as it goes now? Or do you think that there are aspects that coincide with that? Or do you,
To
in the
be
last
honest,
one, or do you think you need to cut one off to do another?
I don't feel like I need to cut one off to do the other.
Mm,
Reason being is because as we learn and what we're reading, I don't feel like I'm losing out on anything. I feel like some of the teachings that we get from you teaching us about the Ifa tradition and everything,
yes.
um, I feel like they kind of coincide with each other, and I haven't lost anything. I still get up and I'm praying. I still get up and pray to God. Everybody just have a different term for who they're calling. I call it God, y'all say Ola Damari, and we just go from there. And I'm just picking up. They tell us about our ancestor tables and stuff, but before I had an ancestor tables, I had pictures of all of my loved ones all over my house. I
Yes.
still keep them all over my house. My mom's pictures, I ride around with them in my car. So I don't feel like I'm
Yes.
doing anything outside of my normal just because I'm practicing this or because I'm following it. Everything just kind of flows together, and I just keep it up and I go with whatever it goes. Now if I tell you about people just teaching me my Christian traditions and everything else, then yeah, I'm gonna go into some stuff that just doesn't play well with each other, but that's because somebody else is teaching it to me and I'm not reading it literally and understanding it for myself.
Mm, I understand. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
I thank you for coming and showing your face and giving your name and all that good stuff. Because
Listen,
some
because
people
I
they
don't
just
like
want to
to
get
be
the
on
help. They don't want
camera.
to be up on here, and you had to get done up
You're
to be
very
on
welcome.
camera. Because you
Yes,
know
most
how
welcome.
you know how I feel about being on this camera. So I'm very proud of you. Okay,
Well, thank you.
my pleasure.
You're
Uh,
very welcome. Y'all have a great day. She gonna put me back at the bottom so I can disappear
yes,
because y'all know I don't do cameras.
yes. That's why I'm
But
so
I
proud
wanted
of
to come
you.
in and thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming and for sharing. I really
You're welcome.
appreciate you because I already know. I'm so proud.
Thank you.
My pleasure. Let me see. All right now, Vivian, I see you. Come on up, girl. It's the price is right. Come on, Divine by
Hey
Design.
everybody.
Listen,
Oh
Vivian's on the
no.
West Coast, okay? And you have had your divination, and she's gone all in, so her story is interesting. So, Vivian, can you talk about how you found me? Because that's important. And this will prove why I say that my door is here for people to knock on. And then your question is going to be a little deeper because I need them to know where you came from before you got to where you are right now. Because this will shock the crap out of a whole bunch of people. And I'm elated for it if you're okay with that. And then
Yes.
all the things that you have done since and where you're headed because you hit that
Yeah.
ball rolling.
It was surprisingly rolling.
I'm telling you. Let's go divine by
Now what
design.
was the first question?
The first question was
Cause you
about
know
how you
I'm
found
nervous.
me. The second part about that is where you came from, i.e., your background, because I think it's very, very interesting.
So I found you. I was actually on
Can you breaking up a
TikTok.
little bit, Vivian, just so you know your
Let's
connection?
see.
Oh, she left. Let me see if I can bring her back. Okay, Vivian, I'm bringing you back. Okay, let's see. Let's go.
Is it better?
Yes.
Okay. I found you on TikTok. I was actually on Tina TikTok, and you
Yes.
was in the comment, and so that's how I started. Know that your name would pop up, and that's how I met you. So, and one day I just went onto your TikTok and just started looking at everything, and I
Yes.
was like, and it's funny because one of the first books that you had me to get, I had already had it in my bookshelf for like over a year.
Yes.
So when I came over, y'all, I'm nervous. I'm sorry.
Don't be nervous. I got you. I got you, girl. Don't be nervous. Act like you
So
talking to me on the phone when you say yes in your accent. So don't be
so that's
nervous.
how I started. I've been watched all of your TikToks, and then I started going on. You started going live, and
Yes.
just your demeanor, how you just was so easy and patient, like you was teaching, and I just gravitated towards that. And after that, that was it. I was stuck.
Up and you stuck.
Yes,
Okay. Can you tell them about your background, about where you thought you were going, and now where you ended up?
honey. So I come from a Christian background, church Monday through Sunday, even on revivals every day. We was in the church. So that was my foundation. But I could never get the questions asked that I always ask. I got in trouble in church for asking too many questions or just asking too many questions that people couldn't answer. And then in my day from the South, talking back. But I was literally just expressing what I felt.
Yes.
So from there, I had some tragedy happen and I left the church all completely. So when I started seeing your TikTok, it reopened up a space. And then how you were teaching, and then when I read the book, I was like, this feels like home.
Yes.
And so it was like all the questions that I ever wanted to ask in church, I was getting answers. And then I waited a minute before I did the divination because I wasn't sure. So I went on the page, I looked at the videos, I read, and I was like, okay, it's my time. Let's just step out here. What else could happen?
Listen.
What else could happen? And so I did it, and honey, I got one done for my son,
Yes.
and I helped my niece get hers done. And I'm
Yes.
getting ready to do one for my great nephew and my other niece.
Yes. And since then, you've received an icon.
Yes, I cut everything, honey. And it was funny because the first thing when I talked to her before we did the divination, I was like, I just feel it, but I don't want it to come up. I don't
Yes.
want it to come up in the divination. And sure enough, that was the first thing that came up.
Yes.
To receive the icon in the hand, I was like, Lord, girl.
Yes. So you all who ask, sometimes you're like, how do I know if I'm supposed to be initiated or to go through the process of practicing this completely? For some of you, it will come up as so. For others, you're already guided you here when you ask, okay, you can do what you want to do. In her case, she kept saying, I don't want it to come up that I should initiate or anything. And sure enough, it came up for her. So I just think it's wonderful. And much like a Martha's story, hers is the same as far as when she received the divination itself. So, can you answer a little bit to me about how that differed for you when you got your answers that way?
So when I got they were more precise. Like some of the things were for other people, not necessarily
Yes.
for me. But once I started asking questions, they was like, "Yes, this is what I've been asking them, trying to do." And so it was more precise, like to see, like before I came to Earth, to know that I made a covenant before I came here, and
Yes.
then I came here. It was like it made me feel like, okay, so I've been guided my whole life. I just didn't know. Like even and
Yes.
what that made me feel so good because even though this tradition was kept from us, like they still got us, like they still guiding us. Like I got that book over a year and a half before I even heard one of her TikToks. So they've been calling. I just didn't know how to respond. And so when I
Yes.
got my
I'm familiar with it.
divination, I was like, so this is what I need to do. And for it to feel so much like home. When I say home, I'm feeling like this is what I've been missing my whole entire life. Like I feel free, even
Yeah.
with the little information that I do have, and I'm, learning as I go. But it's like this is it, and I love it. Like I was telling, I just even with everything that's going on in my world right now, I wake up with gratefulness in my heart because I know this is not the end. Like there is more. Whatever I'm going through right now is just helping me get to the next step of where I'm going, and I'm excited about
I'm excited for you. And I'm glad that you have peace.
it.
The biggest
Yes.
testimony for you to me is you saying that your son said he noticed the difference.
Yes, he noticed, he saw it, and he was like, "Can I get one?" I was like, "You sure can. You sure
Yes.
can." And so he did it, and then as a mother to see like his was amazing. Like it gave me so, as a mother, he getting ready to go to college. This is last year in high school. You got all that worry, like my baby, my baby. But it
Yes.
gave me again a peace, like he taken care of, like they got him.
Yes.
I don't have to worry. Whatever his journey is, he gonna be okay.
Yes.
And to know that the prescription, the ammo that we did for him was gonna make that transition even more easier. It was like, girl, you can just sit back and relax.
And have you?
Yes, I
I had to ask. I
have.
need to ask him. I'm gonna call him and ask him if you.
I've been letting him do stuff. He's driving. I'm
Yes.
like, you protected, go ahead. I ain't staying up to wait till he come in the house. I go to
Go
bed.
ahead, Vivian. Go ahead. I'm so proud of you. All right now. That piece. Thank you.
That piece is everything. If I don't get nothing else,
Yes.
just to wake up in peace regardless. And y'all don't think just because you get the divination and you get everything that you need, that everything is gonna be smooth and easy. It's
Right.
not. You're gonna have to
Right.
go through some things, but that understanding, like I be telling her, I have a whole tribe in Nigeria praying for me and my child.
Yes.
Every time they pray. Do you know what that feels like? He got his ground, his Madil, uh, he got everybody else here, but to know that a tribe in Nigeria is taking care of us, praying for us as well, that's some extra bonus for me.
Yes.
That is
Yes.
extra.
Yes.
Yeah,
That's
that peace, honey, because I'm going through some stuff right now, and
I'm telling you. Yes.
that peace is beautiful.
If they
That
only
peace
knew
is beautiful,
to have
girl.
and you up here with the smile on your face, happy as hell. And they can't they can't
Happy,
understand. Yep.
honey. And then I'll
You know,
be one of the ones that's going in June.
yes,
And y'all,
definitely. She is
I
definitely one of the ones,
prayed.
y'all. She was
Oh,
praying
honey, I
down for that date to
prayed.
change. So she's going. From hell or high water. This woman will be there getting
I'm
her
going. You hear
initiation
me?
done.
And not even worry about how I'm gonna pay for it, cause
At
Ifa
all.
gonna send it.
Absolutely. Because it
It's
will
gonna
happen.
fall into place.
It always does. Well, thank you so much. Now I'm going to bring up your niece
Okay.
because she brought somebody with her when she came in
Yes.
here. I'm going to bring her on the screen with you at the same time and then I'll take you back down.
Okay.
Hey, girl. Hey.
Hey. Hey, bird.
Let me scroll her because, girl, You have done a whole 360 yourself, Deja. Look at all y'all in the back. I wish you could see this. This is awesome. All right, Deja, let's go. We know how you got here because of her. So, can you hear me? You can't hear me? Look, she's up, but she can't hear you. You want me to? Oh, I can hear you moving. Can you hear
I
me?
don't know what's happening.
I can
If
hear
you can
you.
see me, I cannot see you. I can
Mm,
only see me in the comment section.
okay, hold on. If you're in the comments right now, can y'all see me still? They can still see me. So,
Okay, I'm gonna leave and try to come back and see if that works.
okay. Okay, you all can see me. We're going to have Deja come back. And in the interim, I'm not going to bring anybody else up. Rhonda, I see you in the chat. Do you want to come back here? Because you know how you feel about, but I knew you would be here to talk about it. Rhonda, let me know if you want to come up, just comment and I'll see it. All right, Deja, let's get it. Okay, peace. I'm glad you all can see me. Deja, I can't see you at all now. Now I see you. Can you hear me? I can't hear you. I see you on my phone, but I don't see you here, but I can't hear you. I'm going to move on until we can get her together so that y'all, that was a great segue though. Let me tell you, to Deja. Let me move down and we're about to be done in a minute. Deja, I'm gonna move to Kristina and see if it does any different with her. Oh, now it has all y'all on here. Who did I just bring on? Kristina, I can see you. Can you see me?
I can see you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
I can hear you. I can, but I can't. Hey, SC, it's still showing me somebody else is up here. And I want to, oh, Deja. Deja's not coming through. All right. Kristina, let me all know if you can see Kristina. It's two of us now. All right. Deja, I can't hear you. I might have to interview you separately, girl, in order to get you up on here. We're going to try you right before we end. I'm going to try you again. Kristina, you have a different story. So this is going to be interesting. Hey, beautiful. Nice to see you. Can you introduce yourself and talk about your business? I didn't do that for
Hi.
Vivian, but Vivian, you all, is Divine by Design and she sells inspirational shirts. You all see her being modded a lot on everything that I'm doing. So, Kristina, tell us about your business first, because plug. And then secondly, you've known me longer than all of these people. And then how did you end up coming to me
Yes,
for
and
Ifa? And you can let them know how you
as
know me
before she
because we've
said,
talked about it many a times.
we've been stuck together for we've been stuck together for several
Yeah,
years.
yeah.
Very, very, very many, a whole bunch of years. So I'm Kristina, and currently I have two active businesses. The first one is called Tribe 3 Under 3, and there are a few things happening with that business right now. I didn't really have a plan when I started it, and I just knew that I wanted it to represent me leading my children. I'm a single mother, and so I ended up starting an Airbnb in my basement, which has been very successful. And so I wrote an ebook about it, my Airbnb journey, and along with that, I have like an Airbnb guide and before I did that, I wrote a ebook about parenting during the pandemic because it was very, very difficult in terms of being
Yes.
a single mother and working full time, so on and so forth. So I have known Chandra. I'm sorry, Iana, for
Now, listen, I
Chandra.
know it's so weird.
Back in college. Back in
Yes.
college, like my freshman year, because she's older than me. So I don't
Oh,
mean to,
no
date
shade.
us
No
or
shade.
anything, but um, and we have over the years, like it's almost been like relatives where you lose touch for a while and then you get back, and it's like you were never gone.
Yes.
So that's the type of relationship that we've had.
Yes.
Um, yeah, through kids, through businesses. Like my ex, I was married before, so when I wanted to help him start a business, she helped me. Um, she's probably one of the few people who've been through me with all of my changes. Um,
Yes.
in terms of practicing different religions and marriages, it's a lot. Children, businesses, everything,
Yes.
everything. So Chandra did one of her disappearing acts. We took turns doing disappearing acts. So she did
We
one of her
do.
disappearing acts. In my opinion, this is my story. This is my side. Everybody has a side. So this is my side. And she did one of her disappearing acts, and then all of a sudden she appeared on Facebook, and
Yes.
it was about, it was a very heartfelt message, and I was like, wow, like this is amazing. So I reached out to her, and then I was like, oh my gosh, she has a book about trademarking, because I needed to know all this stuff.
Yes.
And I was like, I need to talk to her, because really I had gone back to her whenever I was stuck on something. It would just be a thought, like, I need to call her. So I would call her, and every time I called her, she would answer the phone, and she would get me straight, because she knows how to cuss me out without cussing. And she would get me straight. So I was like, there's something else going on. Like, what's going on? When I was talking to her, I told her about everything that I had done business wise and that I needed help. And I was like, but there's something else happening. Like, what's going on? So she started talking to me about um, her practice in Ifa and how she started. I was just intrigued, and I was like, I need to know more about what it is that's happening, because she had gone through a lot, and I didn't know about a lot of it. So um, the more we talked, the more I researched, because like I said, I had went from Christianity to Islam, and then I was like, I'm not 100% sure, and I had a lot of questions about myself and where I was supposed to be and where I wasn't supposed to be, and
Yes.
so um and then in terms of relationships, I didn't know where I was supposed to be. Business wise, I didn't know where I was
Yes.
supposed to be. I just didn't know anything, and she saw how lost I was. So she talked to me about divination. I was like, I don't know what this is, but I'm gonna look into it. And I don't think that she believed me when I said I was gonna look into it, but I did.
Right.
And I was just like, okay, well, if she, like, this is the person that I've always trusted since I was like my early 20s. So
Oh,
yeah, I'm gonna roll with her. So I was just like, okay, no problem. Let me get it together. And I didn't know what I was doing. So I did I did I did everything that she told me to do.
that's it. And now that you've done everything I told you to do, and you had your divination done, what was different about your divination versus getting a reading?
um the clarity.
Mm.
I would say definitely the clarity. I've had readings, and the readings to me always led to other questions like, well, so what does that mean? So which way am I supposed, like, what direction? And I still had a lot of questions. Now for the divination, I've still had questions, but
Yes.
it's easier to go back and say, okay, I'm not clear about this. Like, what does this mean? Because this could mean several different things here. I think there was one about a child, and I was just like, so I thought I was done. Like, what exactly does this mean?
Yes.
And so, um, yeah, but it's easier, in my opinion. It was easier to see it and to go back to, like, it's something that you have documented, and you can go back to it. Like, every now and again I go back to it, and I'm like, wait a minute, I remember, like, there's something that I remember, let me go back to it, because I think that this is the direction, like, I'm doing the right thing here, instead of questioning,
Yes.
like, so which direction am I supposed to go in, after you've already done all these different, things and readings, and you still trying to figure it out. um so yeah, I think that it's easier for me, especially in terms of like the directives, and it's like, okay, yeah, I know, I remember this, and I think I'm doing the right thing. But even when I still question myself, I can't ask her, like, listen, I have a question, and she's like, oh gosh, hold on, let me squeeze you in these 10 minutes here.
Yes. I squeezed you in. I'm like, I got you. Now, what is it? Come on, let's talk while I'm eating. I'm so glad you said that.
Yeah, hurry up. I get to hurry up a lot, and I'm like, okay, let me hurry up. But then it ends up being like an hour.
Yes, every time. so, so now some of the things come to fruition for you, or some of the
Mhm.
things happening now that you received in your divination?
Um, yes. So some things come to, you don't think about them,
Yep.
So, well, at least for me, like, I don't really think about it, and then I'm like, wait a minute. So then I'll go back, because I'm like, what exactly does this say? Um, to jog my memory about business. Like, okay, um, in terms of, I think there was something about Ogun the blacksmith,
Yes.
and I was like, I gotta look this up, because this is part of my lineage. Like, I don't know what that means. I need to know. Like, I need a class. So that's why I was just like, okay, I need to know what's happening. Like, I need you to teach a class on this, because I need to know exactly what it is I'm supposed to be doing. But certain things have happened over the last couple of months, and I'm like, oh yeah, this is in line with what one of the directives said that's supposed to
Yes.
happen. So, um I know what to put more energy towards, and what not to put, more energy, in another direction. And then it talks about, I know one of mine talked about, like, a child, like I said before. And like, I look to my children, like, okay, because my focus is should be children. Now,
Yes.
mine didn't say anything about yeah, mine didn't say anything about initiation. However, it alluded to my purpose.
Yes.
And I will say that when I received my divination, I was very surprised, because I was like, are you sure this is mine?
She did.
um, I was like, is this the right
Yes.
name? And so, um, because if you had told a younger me, oh yeah, kids, you're supposed to, this is your focus. And I was just like,
Right.
no. But then I guess now, at the older me is like, would you rather choose children or adults? I'll pick
You'll be
adults.
kids.
I mean, children hands down over adults. Yeah, over adults, like,
Yes.
in any day. So yeah, but it takes patience, and it's not, nothing happens overnight. Like everyone else has said, you still go through things. I'm still going through things. However, um, it molded me into a different, like, my perspective is different about a lot of things.
Yes.
Whereas 10 years ago I would freak out about certain things, today I'm just like, okay, I mean,
Yes.
that's not even my focus. Yeah, it is very different.
Well, thank you very much. I know you don't do the camera
You're
either, so I'm
welcome.
proud of you. And and I appreciate you for
Very different.
trusting me enough to, number one, come on here and say, here, as the person who has known me the longest, right? Been through all my transitions. And then also to trust me enough to be on here on camera because I know you don't do cameras. Because she comments on TikTok, y'all. She in there, but she don't even have her picture up on that thing like that for you to know who she is. So.
Yeah, one of my assignments is to actually go on TikTok, and I have not done it yet. So I can't say I've done everything she told me to do because that's just.
I know.
I'm working on it.
You're gonna get it done because I have faith in you. I'm gonna try to bring Deja back up, and let's hope this works this time. And I thank you for taking the time and being on here and telling people about your journey and doing something you've never done before. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. You can hang out in the back or you could hop off and watch on the front end. Totally up to you. I got to do it. No worries. I got you.
Put me there?
Yes, I'm going to do it.
Okay, good. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, y'all. All right, Deja. Last one, girl. Let's get you in and let's hope that it works. Come on, girl. Come on. Let's see, Deja. I'm trying to bring you, Deja. And then, Deja, it's going to work this time. I have faith. Let's get it. Please. Hello.
Can you
hey, I can hear you. Let's go. All right. So, Vivian brought Deja. Let's go, Deja. Okay. And Deja is Vivian's niece. So now, can you talk? I know how you got here. Can you talk about your experience, considering you didn't know anything and she told you needed to get it done? You didn't have a clue what was going on.
I had some clue because I met a girl who it was like in the tradition, but other than talking to her and her experience about it, didn't know anything. And so I was talking to Lily one day, or Vivian, and she was just like, you need to get a divination. You can check out this woman right here. And so I went to your TikTok account and I watched could you say before you get a divination, you should watch either this link or this link. So I watched the YouTube video. I forgot the woman's name, but I was just like, okay, I'm going to get it done because I'm in a period in my life right now where I'm, not the nickname. I'm in a period in my life where, or I was in a period in my life where I was just really seeking answers, and I needed some kind of confirmation, some kind of guidance. And so I was just like, okay, I'm going to get a divination. And then I reached out to you and we went from there.
Now, you, out of all of the people who reached out to me and it was their new time, you were the most subtle.
Really?
And the most quiet. So it becomes hard to read how you felt about your divination in general. Yeah. So how did you feel about it? Has anything come to pass? And was there conflict that you had by doing it? Some people come with conflict. They're like, I don't know.
No, I don't think I had any conflict coming to it. Because I'm pretty open coming to like things that I'm not really sure about. I can't say if anything has come to pass because a lot of it, or most of it, most of what I received in the divination was like, be on the lookout for this person or treat people this way or pray for this person. And so I feel like if something has come to pass, it's been pretty subtle. So if that makes sense.
Yes.
And what was the first thing you asked me before?
It was about, was there any conflict? But let me follow that up because I think I didn't touch on this enough with everybody else. When seeing your Ebo being performed, what was that like for you? Because I didn't touch on that with them, but it would be good for you to speak on that.
I didn't know what to expect because before I got mine, I asked Lily, I was like, what happened? What was it like? Walk me through it so I can know how to go into it. And so as it was being done and you were on there with me, which made me even more comfortable to just have you there as it was going on. And it was, I don't really have the words to describe kind of how I felt seeing like the ritual of it and the whole process and going through all of it. But for me, it was a spiritual thing. And I remember at a certain point you were like, you can pray now. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna pray. And then you were like, you can stop praying. I was like, okay, I'm gonna stop praying. It was just, it was a beautiful experience, and it was I think mine lasted about maybe an hour or an hour and a half.
It was close to 2 hours, but it went
Okay.
by so fast for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It didn't feel that long at all. But I don't know. It was a beautiful thing to experience and to kind of have my prayer going along with their prayer at the same time, and just feeling the energy of it all, if that makes sense. And I think for the rest of the day, when you were just, because at the end of mine, you were just like, they're going to keep going. So you can,
Yes.
at the end of the day, make sure you say this prayer before you go to bed. And it was kind of like, I kind of held that energy throughout the rest of my day. And so I don't have the words to explain kind of the experience for me. It was really internal. Everything I felt about it was internal, and it's very spiritual. So I hope that
I think you did a good job,
Thank
especially considering we had all the issues to get you up on here, but that was a good. I'm going to give the people the discount code that I'm going to use. So right now the divination price is, well, I'm not going to say it because this is going to relive. So right now it's a certain price. So that being said, Ebo, don't type it in the chat because I don't even want people to be able to get back to it. If you weren't here live, you don't have it. So if you're going to give it to your friend, give it to your friend. So Ebo, EBO, all lowercase, will be the discount code for a divination when the price goes up. So as soon as I'm able to authenticate again and change my pricing, I will. And that will give you a substantial discount. So I'm telling y'all right now, don't type it in the chat. Keep it to yourself, write on a piece of paper. You can share it with your friends. You can do whatever you want to do. But EBO, all lowercase, will be the code that you need. And that code will last until Cyber Monday. So close of business Cyber Monday, no more code. Okay, so y'all got it. Now, let me get to these questions too. And thank you so much. I'm not keeping you on here long because I see it's 8:32 and these people, they're like, we got to go. Plus they have to go to Queen Pose. She got class and they got stuff. And as far as classes, Chris, I heard you, girl. I'm going to start doing classes. I have membership capabilities on my website. I just have not done it because of timing. But enough people have been coming enough and asking for it enough. Vivian's been asking for it seems like a decade. Okay, Martha's been asking for it seems like a decade. So I am going to go ahead and offer classes. We already did an introduction to African spirituality. That's what he was alluding to earlier on when he came on, but we're going to do it again, and I'm going to do it a different way so that you all have information that you can keep substantial with you. Part of the issue is when I start to get more advanced, there are things that I don't want you to write down. So you need to retain, and I know people like to record things as well. But remember that this is an oral tradition. Therefore, some of those things need to remain oral and to those people who are coming and being led to be taught. So I don't want everything duplicated in some sort of way. For that reason, to keep some of the sacredness of it. It doesn't mean that it's a closed practice. It just means I don't want people to manipulate the information that I give you to do things that they should not be doing with it. Okay? So when I teach a class, I will start again with the beginning so that you all can learn some of the terms. And then we'll get into the heavy stuff because many people will come and say, well, I already know that. Well, I know you know what Google taught you, but you don't know what I taught you. You don't know what I learned from my Lou, and you don't know what he taught you. So there will be times where if I can get him in there the same way I got him in here, I will. I do understand for some of you all that his accent is thick and you may not understand everything that he's saying, but I will make sure that I repeat it or that you have it. So we'll most likely do calls where it'll be mass call. You call into a number, you're able to hear it, and we will do class online, or I will also have like a group chat. But I just need to be clear on that and why I haven't done it. Because when I do something, I go all in and I want you all to learn properly. And that is important to me because if you learn properly, you therefore can teach properly to other people, whether you realize you're doing it or not. Well, Deja, I loved you being on here while I said my little spiel, but I'm gonna put you in the back again, girl. Thank you very much. Peace. All right, y'all. Let's get it. Is it high in you, Deja? There we go. Okay. So, bro, boy, I've been into Ifa for 20 years, practicing the derivatives, and then maybe for the last 15 or so, Ifa directly. Now, As far as the people who have questions, I know that Jax took the questions down. Please, Jax, let me know what they are. You can text them to me, and or you can put them up on the in the chat, and I'm going to see them, and I'll be able to answer it. I'm going to pull up my phone again to pull it up, the channel, just so I can see it. And let's go. And I will answer. And my pleasure. I'm glad you all stayed, and I'm going to try to wrap it up because I know she has her class, and I want to make sure that I answer everything that you have, because I want to make sure it's coming from, number one, a good place, and that I can answer what it is that you need, because I know what it was like when I was trying to figure stuff out. It was a mess. And the thing that got me to get to the truth or the bottom of what it was me constantly asking questions and digging. So when I get you all that come to me and you're so eager, I get it. I understand, especially because I was a student of Google way back then. But then I had people who could teach me, who said, go look up this book, because there's not very many books. And that's why I only recommend certain ones to you all, because I don't want you confused and I want you to understand. Okay, so Jax, number one, can anyone do divinations? Absolutely not. So only a trained Iyanifa, Iyalawo, Babalawo can do a divination, and it takes years and years and years of training and understanding of the process. So no, not anyone can do one. Two, Rebecca asked, if you don't follow divinations, are there consequences? Yeah, the consequences are simply put, you just had this thing done in order to take care of your situation, and then you don't follow it, and then it continues to happen. Don't come back over here and be like, well, it didn't work. Well, it didn't work because you didn't keep up your part of the bargain. You need to follow through with the directives and what's being done. So if the directive says don't eat bananas, don't eat bananas. But if you decide you're going to eat bananas, then okay. Can I ask anyone? Yes, anyone, Kara, can have an ancestor altar. Yes, anyone can have one. It is nice to have one. And let me tell you why I will always say that that is your first step. That is your first step to understanding personal sacrifice outside of the sacrifices you live in your daily life, of your sacrifice of time, sacrifice of energy, your sacrifice of taking care of things. Because the things you do in order to continue to live in this world are considered sacrifices. But your first opportunity to learn how to care for energies that run through your veins and sacrifice or give to them, to have a give and take relationship, is very important when it comes to your ancestors. If you heard when Martha was speaking, she mentioned giving candy, and the kids will go get the candy because she's giving things that somebody in their line liked, right? You get a feeling about it. You want to put some food on there. I know it seems asinine. It is the intent and the purpose behind it and the energy behind it that makes it so powerful in your reverence. So yes, anyone can have an altar. Yes, it's important as a first step, because that altar and you communing with your ancestors will be the way that you find the people in your life that are to help you and guide you properly. And that is something that people take for granted. When we tell stories of our ancestors and things that they've done, we are reverencing them in that way. You do the same thing by setting up your table, your bovada for others. You just need to make sure that you have that foundation, whether you know them or not. You may not know any of them. You may be adopted and not be clear. That doesn't mean that that's any less of a way for you to reverence or know or work with your ancestors. And I've had this asked, if there are people that aren't really your biological family, can you revere them in this way? Yes, you love them. They still love you in Arun, i.e. heaven, the way that they did when they were here on earth. You love them. They did something significant in your life. You may put them there. If you want to know how to do so, you can go watch a video on my channel where I talk about how to set up your ancestor area, altar, etc., table, whatever. Sherry, my pleasure. April, I'm so glad. Number 4, Alicia asks, what is the name of the book? Vivian was giving examples of your question, should ask for a definition. Vivian will post the book again, but it's Yoruba Concepts by Baba Karade, and it's in my Amazon store. So if you go to the link that Jack's been texting and putting up, you will see a link for Amazon store, and there's an area that just says books or Ifa books, and those are the books that I recommend. And the one that's by Chief Fama, don't order it there. Just tell me you want it or get the link that says Chief Fama, and I will just contact her and have it sent to you. Okay, Rhonda, ask me about that. Rhonda, I know that was in a comment to something. Jacob asks, should we get ancestry DNA done before divination? No, you don't have to have it. What I found that ancestry DNA does, and let me also say, I prefer 23andMe. I have a link in my link that Jax has been texting, and it's because of the database. So the database that they all pull from come from the same one. FT-DNA is a little bit more complicated. Ancestry, if you want to find people's trees and them more easily, but you can still take this information and upload it on a site called GEDmatch, GEDmatch, and that site will connect you with other people who used other tests from around the world, and you can still find people that way. So let me tell you that. But I find it to be helpful when you get a DNA test, because many of us in the diaspora who are people of color specifically don't know who we are really. We know what we're taught to be in this country and in other countries, but we don't really know where does it go back to, at least give you some sort of semblance. I have found that 23andMe has done a better job of giving me the generalization. I know that there are others that are geared toward African ancestry. I get it, but they use the same databases. And I have found that people that have used those end up with sort of the same thing. You're from the Congo. Almost everybody. I have a cousin that did it and was like, I'm from the Congo. I was like, girl, you and how many other people from the Congo? Then she went on the trip to go to the Congo, and then she did it on 23andMe and got different results, a little bit more narrowed down. And then I'm like, see what I'm saying? So that's my suggestion to you. It helps you connect to who you believe your roots are, and you will most likely, often than not, find Yoruba or some other Western country that is affiliated with Ifa, even Ghana, the Akan people, etc. So don't think that you'll just be completely lost. Big Empress asks, can a divination happen virtually? Yes. So because it takes more time than people assume, the divination is done externally, but the Eba is done virtually. So you see the solution, but the divination is done external of you actually watching it because of the time. And we're actually fitting y'all in between people showing up in real life to have them done. So people show up around the clock in real life to have a divination done. And yes, you heard me right. And that's anytime, whatever. And then also they're doing EBOs in between that. So don't think that he's just working with me. There's students and everybody that have to handle different things. The fact that I even got him to get up on here on camera for y'all, this is the second time now, and he is not wanting to do that, but he did it because it was me asking, and I'm the one on social media. Typing my question, my apologies. No worries. Big Empress asked, yes, okay. So you will be able to see, to my knowledge, because whenever I ask people if they've had one done before, have you seen the EBA? They're like, no. And I'm like, what? Nobody, you hadn't seen the EBA? Okay, so you can see that here and participate in that. If you can't attend, we will pray on your behalf. So then I ask you the things that you want me to pray for or have them pray for. And I say them because it's a community effort. You will see many Awos, you will see children even who are studying Ifa and or who are Babalawos in Ifa, and you will see elders, et cetera, et cetera. It just depends on the day. And whenever we do one, people show up. So let me see. Yes, DNA. Okay, Royal, I'm glad your DNA test will be back. Oh man, I want to answer. Okay. Well, Ancestry DNA is cool, but upload it to GetMatch to get the real. Is that all of the questions? And to Ifa Bumi, Aburo Boyeshe Agbato, and I answered your question. Is there anybody else? Oh, I need help with accessing your website on my laptop. I'm able to access it on my phone, but your future class, I would need to attend on my laptop. Yeah, April, because we've been having this problem with you getting it access to it. I will figure it out. And I know you messaged me, and I will figure out what that is because I don't know, and I'm going to have to ask somebody else to figure out why you're not able to access it. If you don't have the funds to give the offering that is required in EBO, should you not do it? No, you should definitely do it. You should do it. And then when you, okay, so this is what I suggest. And this is another thing that I did that I didn't want to do. I didn't want to take money at first. I would just tell people how to send it. But I made sure that what I did was try to make it easy for everybody. So I have Klarna and all that stuff. But what's interesting is some of the people that tried to do Klarna, it wouldn't let them do it for a certain amount or whatever. So I have that. You can also have a payment plan with me that you can do either way. And you can take your time. Not everybody gets their EBO filled right away because they don't have it to do it. But just get it filled. The only thing I can't promise is what that cost will be at the time that you do have all the funds together. And that's simply because of inflation and the way it's been. You don't know how many times that we've gone up and down, up and down. So that's what I can't promise. So usually I say within X amount of days, I can't promise this price because what they'll do is they'll go back and reprice what it is that you need. So if you want to do a payment plan and you want to send it in to me monthly, you can do that. If you want to use, what is the thing? What is it? Klarna, and what's the other one? The other payment thingy? It's available. I have that available. And if you want to Zelle it to me, I have that available too, because I have a trust account specifically for Chandra Cherise to do that because my business bank does not allow me to Zelle. You can't Zelle my business account directly, so I had to do a trust account. I operate like a business over here, boo. I got federal certifications and stuff. I don't be playing around with people and their money. But I did want to make it as easy as possible because I know what it's like to not have it and then have to try to figure it out. Trust me. Trust me when I say. So you'll get it. Don't worry. And after you have a divination done, I know it sounds crazy. You may not have that money right then, but when I tell you that something happens where the money comes in from somewhere or just the grace it just happens out of nowhere, it always does for everyone. If we're meant to practice, we will be guided to it. Kiana, absolutely. If you're already in here and you're learning and you're asking the questions, yes. Ekin is a certain palm net that is used for Ifa to represent Ifa. So I don't want to get too deep because I'm going to try to explain to you what is that particular thing and why and what how we see it as it happens. So it's a certain nut that's used, and that's the easiest way for me to say it to you in this setting. It just makes it easier. Okay, let me see. Showing up for my son. Yes, Divine, because it's like, man, let's go. And Rhonda, although she didn't come up here, Rhonda has had a divination done as well. Because I already knew, but I'm glad you came, Rhonda. Really, I am. Okay, so Alicia has another one I posted under her name. Okay, let me see. Do you need to have a problem? No, you don't. Okay, so what's interesting about, and that's a good question. You said, do you need to have a problem? Let me see if I could post it on the screen. Let's see. Let's make it. Let's get it. Do you need to have a problem to get a divination? You do not. Divination is used to enhance goodness going on in your life as well. So it's not necessarily for bad, but it can also give you what you need to warn you about things to come in the future so that your goodness continues to stay. So let's see how that goes. And then that was cool. I already did it. Jack Sue Cat question. Cash App. Oh, my Cash App is a $ in my name. And thank you very much. That's very humbling. I'm always saying it's humbling, you guys. And granted, y'all got Happy Oluwo. That's how you know I'm the favorite. But because y'all got to see him not having to be serious, and I'm glad you got to see that part of him because he's always smiling and telling me it's gonna be all right. So thank you. My Cash App is this. It's the $ Chandra Cherise. Let's see if I can put in. I'm spinning. I'm freezing a little bit, so I'm seeing if it's letting me do it. And it's also in the link that Jax has been posting. Thank you very much. Okay, let me see. And did I miss something? I feel like I missed. Jax, I'm looking for the other question and I don't see it. So help me out, please. Because I don't see the other question. Are you still taking business clients and consults? Shay, I do. It's just that Ifa has been pushed to the forefront because most of my followers have been with Ifa, but absolutely, I still do business consults. My other life is still co-managing creators, still helping people streamline their resources and what they want to do, product launches, all of those things. And then I also own a travel company. So that's all I do. This and those things are all I do. That's my 9 to 5, my 365, my entrepreneurial life. And honestly, with IFA in general, and because of how involved I am, the time, you just don't, you don't have time for nothing else between all of the businesses on top of it. Let me see. That I was supposed to join. Martha and I have a common charge. Oh, that's wonderful, Shay. Carol, my pleasure. I'm trying to think. Okay, so to the question that I missed, I'm looking for it because I know I got to let y'all go. And thank y'all for spending this amount of time here. I know it was long and I tried to keep it as short as possible. But because I wasn't sure if Oluwo would be able to make it, because he stepped away from there's a whole ceremony and stuff that's been going on, and he was going on his way to bed. And so he stepped away to come here to make time because I asked him to. And then answer the questions that he answered, which is why I wanted to let him go. And hopefully we'll get him again in another class. Yeah, there's a time difference. He stayed on here and he was in the back until about 1:30 his time. So 1:30 a.m. And I was like, thank you very much. Because he doesn't have not near YouTube video with him on it. And I keep posting him on other things. And then he's like, now people are calling me because they see you posting me somewhere. Because he doesn't do social media. And I also post the other AWOs that participate as well. Alicia's question was, okay, wait. Examples of questions you should ask. Examples of questions. Thank you. Let me do that. Thank you. I'm going to put that up here. Alicia, when you first get a divination, and Kiara, thank you for saying what Alicia's question is. Alicia, I apologize for not having your name up here. But when you first get a divination, I always highly suggest in the booking process that you don't ask any questions right away. And the reason that I do that is because Ifa will most likely bring up your question or talk to you about it anyway. It's going to come up. Then that way you don't think that something is manipulated on this end. Like you don't think I went back and said, hey, we need to check on this like this and such and such and such. That's another thing because people are still skeptics, right? So don't ask anything up front. And then after you receive your divination, we go through it. Then you can ask questions to that as it comes. If you have anything that wasn't answered in that, we can answer that question only after the Eba is performed. So you can ask questions later that are specific to the questions that you have. But 9 times out of 10, actually, I should say just 100, you're going to get the answer in between everything anyway. All right. My pleasure, Shay. Thank you. I'm so glad. Gio, it's good to see you. Hello. All right, you guys. We'll see how many people watch this 2-hour live stream. And again, let me give y'all the discount code. I'm not typing it. We don't want it typed because whoever's supposed to get it will get it. You can share it with your friends, whatever, but hold on to that thing so you can get this discount. Okay? And it's EBO, EBO, all lowercase will be the discount code. Right now you have some time till I can get in that thing and change the price. So you're good. But when the price changes, as you see it now, after it changes from that price for divination, use that code. Okay? I texted you the question. You texted. Okay, hold on. I'm looking. Questions. What example? Oh, I got it. I see it now. Now I see it, Jax. Because there's a slight delay when I'm looking on here. Okay. So, EBO, good to see you. My pleasure. I'm so glad. I'm so glad. And I'm glad. And y'all go have a good time. And please make sure you give my regards to Queen. For those of y'all who are here from there, for those of y'all it's your first time meeting me, I'm Iyana Chandra Sharice. I'm an intuitive business strategist and spiritual life coach, and I practice the Isese tradition known as Ifa. I hope that you come back and join me on my social media somewhere. And when I run my mouth on TikTok, join me there. I think I'm gonna go over there now just to do like a decompress and say hey to y'all on Speedier Chat. And we'll be in contact later. I'm sure many of you will continue to follow so that you can learn. And I appreciate your time and your spirit. All right. So until next time, y'all. Peace.